Hello reviewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're going to talk about DJI Action 6. So let's dive deep into it. Now, basically imagine somebody in DJI took the core of awesome Action 5 and modified it a little bit. So a new sensor, I'll talk why it's not a big deal. Lens modification, little bit. Storage, little bit. Gesture control was now added, and that's about it. Now they did add a mounting change. Basically the outer shell has been modified that you can swap in and out lenses easily. Penalty: if you buy a new lens for this version, it will not work for the last one, and if you have bought for the last one, it will not work with this one. Low effort money grab, so to say. And they have fixed the magnetic clamp symmetry issue, meaning in the older variant, if you have a camera that is facing this way, if it will only work this way, if you rotated it, it will not. This time they have fixed it, which is ironic given the fact that there are aftermarket magnetic holders that has that issue sorted. It's like, why that was an issue? That's just like somebody forgot. It's like and rushed it. Is like, okay, magnet polarity was not checked. So okay, they have fixed it now, and it feels very low effort. Like in terms of effort, like, yeah, oh, they have updated the sensor. It's like, are you sure, or they just like refined the firmware? I'm like, yeah, it does look like, new piece. I'm like, is it a new piece or it is just a new injection molding? It's like, it feels so low effort. It's like, oh, we have 1:1, and this number system is so bad. I'm like, I'm genuinely mad. All I want, tell me what is the square mm of active surface area. That's it. Like, is it 10 square mm? Is it 35 square mm? 68 square mm? That's it. Nothing else matters. Just tell the surface area. And if you have the surface area and you tell the ratio, people can easily calculate it. This 1:1 blah, blah, blah. It's useless. This is a bad rating. Bad rating. So this is Action 6. Now we come to the upgrades that has been done. Well, the core is that they have upgraded the sensor to a square system. Let that be very clear. The square sensor is from their 360 lineup, and they just took that, dumped it here. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, if you can record basically full square output, you have a lot of flexibility in reframing. Now, be mindful. In recent years, you must have paid attention to the fact that almost all brands are doing this. The reason is that lot of content creator wants to double dip, as in I have vertical content, I have horizontal content, and if you directly try to get the both out of them from one video file, it's not useful. However, if you are capturing open gate or full sensor, and specifically if the sensor is square, you have a lot of wiggle room, meaning you can frame the scene perfectly and you can move about in the scene, and in the post processing you can adjust it, so you will get different feel, look and feel, and it will not feel like, oh, you just zoomed in and cropped out. It will look like you intend to do that. So it has become very desirable, although it is difficult to do in mirrorless camera simply because the sensor is not 1:1. It's not square sensor, even though the lens is round. It is like a bit rectangle. So 16:9, very locked down. 4:3, full open gate, gives you wiggle room. 1:1.1, almost square. Like this gives you lot of wiggle room in both axes, horizontal and vertical. So there are a lot of demand for this sort of features now. And door latch mechanism has been improved. That means somebody put some effort in plastic injection molding, and the reason was that a lot of people were complaining with gloves it's not very effective. Okay. And it has a adjustable aperture. Now, like, is that important? Yes and no. Most of the time set it to auto, but the reason why it is important is like when you are doing snowboarding and you could be in a scenario where it's a bright snow, it will overexpose, meaning the ISO can only go to certain limit, like it can't just go below. At that point in time, reducing the aperture will allow you to get much better quality. So it's like, that's how you take care of overexposure scenario. Another aspect is, if you open the lens from f2.8, which is the lens design, to f2, because it's not autofocus lens, it will lose sharpness. Now, okay, then why would you do that if it becomes blurry? HD, it's only going to do that at extreme low light, meaning you're going to get potato quality out anyway. At that point in time, improving light gathering capacity even by few percent, that will improve the AI noise reduction a little bit. Worth it. That's a trade-off. That's why that f2 is locked. You cannot just unlock it, because if you do, you're like, dude, why it looks blurry? But at extreme low light, it's like, yeah, at least I can see something. So it does increase the wiggle room. That's why I said, like, lens has not actually been changed. It's just like aperture now has a electronic aperture. Macro lens option is available, meaning you can remove the outer shell and put a new one. Is it really useful? That's up to you. For most scenario, if you're really going that far, because these things are no longer as cheap as they used to be. They were like very far apart. Now you can get a very cost effective full frame camera from Canon. So I'm like, at this point in time, if you are going to that hassle, it's like, okay, I'm gonna buy a lens, I'm gonna buy a camera. It's like, just do a, Canon EOS R8, I think is the cheapest full frame. And if you are willing to go to APS-C, you can go even lower. So that is there. Let's see how that unfolds. But again, if you want it, you have it. And they did add gesture control. That's unique, meaning the older variant had voice control. This has gesture control. You can say stop, it will stop. You can do those sort of thing. And somebody did operating system optimization. The last variant, as in Action 5 Pro, had 47 GB. Now, if you know anything about computer memory chips, you know that it cannot be this number. It has to be either 32 or 64. So what does that mean? That simply means the actual chip on the board is 64, and they have two partition. One is the operating system, firmware and all that jazz. Another is the user storage, that is 47 GB. So if they changed from 47 to 50, that simply means somebody optimized 3 GB out of the basically operating system section. So somebody did some optimization. I have to say, like reducing that much capacity, it could mean two things. A, you hired someone really competent. B, you rushed the last one. If you can eke out that much gigabyte, it happens whenever, like when I used to be a 3D game artist, like the first time when you optimize something, you're like, okay, how will I optimize? You start working, oh, you optimize a lot. So both of them could have happened. Either A, they hired a lot of very new talented people, or B, they're like, okay, now we have time, refine the product. It's like, oh, we can save out 3 gigabytes. So very mild, like nothing. That's why like FPS does not go, this and that does not change that much. It is literally the same thing. So question becomes, for whom this is? Well, just buy Action 5, less money. And you can say, like, if you really want to spend extra money, you could justify it, but it's like too tight. And especially don't even think about it if you have Action 5. Again, I get it if you have Action 3 and you are like thinking about upgrading, then going into this makes sense. But other than that, it's like, eh. And Square implementation is not good. And this is the reason. Now, this literally, because again, they themselves are saying the sensor is from the 360 camera. Most likely the 360 camera sensor that they have developed, because be mindful, modern sensors have the analog to digital converter on the back end. The sensor physical piece has the digitizer behind it. And digitizer gives the digital data that goes to SoC on your board. Now, what does that mean? That simply means the hardware is locked. You can have the sensor, but sensor will say, I can only go to this FPS. And like, why sensor is limiting it? It's simply because the digitizer that is on the back, or analog to digital converter, is limited. So if you're getting this sort of square blocks, that simply means the analog to digital converter is limiting it. Now, why would that be the case? Well, it makes sense if you are designing it for a disk. These area would be the inside, basically outside of the useful circle. And if you are projecting from basically a fish eye lens, those area would be kaput anyway. So in those sort of scenarios, it makes sense why waste bandwidth on those things. And every bandwidth you save, you can either increase the readout speed or you can increase the bit depth. So people will be like, okay, kaput those sensors. And that's why I said, like, the sensor upgrade is not a big deal, because if they had redone the sensor, as in like, okay, this is sensor, let's redo the electronics on the back end of it, then they would not have gotten this. So fundamentally speaking, they have one feature that they have square sensor and it's not well implemented. It would have made sense, like they are sharing this image, like, 9 by 16, 16 by 9, 4:3. Yeah, you can only do it in this, it's very weirdly constrained. Like, yeah, I get it. 1:1 sensor, like that is very rare because most sensors are 4:3. But this ratio and with this black box, is like not that much wiggle room as people would want. Because again, if you really had a full square readout, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. That will genuinely be unique, where it's like, hey, we can do a lot of positioning freedom. Now you lose the freedom, and not to mention every time you're doing it, this will annoy you. So it's like, that's why I said, it's like, it looks very, what you call, lazy. It's like, oh, we took the sensor. It's like, come on, redefine it. Work with the developer. It is like, hey, what can we do to get those data? Like, what has to be done? And that's why FPS has not changed. Nothing has actually changed. So they have one feature, square sensor, and again, half implementation of it makes it very, what you call, lazy. It just looks like money. And yeah, that's the feature upgrade. It's like, now I think, again, that's why I'm saying somebody optimized the operating system that they can actually run the algorithms for gesture detection. Or you can buy a $200 lens. Remember the old days when $200 was enough for the goddamn action camera? So I will flat out say this was very underwhelming. That, like, I spent hours trying to find like what to talk about in this. It's just like, no, there was like nothing. It's like I get it, but like you don't have to. Like, I have no idea. Like, this is the exact same reason why GoPro stocks are not doing so well. They kept releasing cameras even though they did not have the technology ready for it. Like, imagine if DJI was like, okay, this is what we want to do. Let's work on it. Let's refine it. Let's figure out what to do with those black boxes. Let's figure out some other things to actually improve. Because again, even now they're like 80 Mbps Wi-Fi speed transfer. How about you upgrade that? How about you upgrade that? Because again, square video file, those are huge. 80 Mbps, your mobile phone can easily do more than that nowadays. Easy 300 Mbps. Heck, even the SoC that you have in the mobile phone, that's much faster now. And the memory, it used to be eMMC, now it is I keep forgetting, USF, universal faster storage, or basically a new type of system that works on NVMe protocol. So it's much faster now. Your mobile phone can actually digest data faster than, like, 80 Mbps. No work on that. So it's literally Control C, Control V, and just like they Control C, Control V the 360 sensor into it, and they did not even bother to paint that. I'm like, come on. So it just feels very what you call, oh, we have to launch every year. It's like, do you? Like, is there a genuine valid reason to launch every year, or is just like we have to? It's like, no, you do not. So this was my small presentation on this DJI basically Action 6 camera. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.